You want me to sing first? Okay, go ahead.
You ready?
No.
Ignite.
All right, so who am I to talk to you about, we forgot the title, how to tell your web designers they suck. So who am I to tell you, well, I manage projects big and small, and I get the wonderful job of sitting between this cocky guy, your designers and your developers, and the public, okay? I have this really bad thing. I like to watch people, specifically when they're on the web. And there's one particular person I spend a lot of time with, that's your grandmother. Okay, I spend a lot of time with her watching what she does on the web, and there's something she wants to tell you. She's at war with your designers and developers. Okay, she wants it to be easy to use. They want it to be advanced. They want it to be cutting edge. She says, you suck. Okay, so there are a couple things she wants to point out. The first thing she wants to point out is that don't use fonts and font sizes that require bifocals. Okay, add a little bit of contrast to your text so that it actually can be read. You don't have to squint to see this stuff. The other thing she wants to tell you is use fonts that actually go with your content. There we go. Choose fonts that match your intention. Fancy fonts versus simple fonts. A couple of guys did some crazy study, and she agrees. Simple fonts denote simplicity. Complex fonts or fancy fonts denote something completely different from the content. The first thing they're going to tell you is that fancy fonts increase skill. You know, it's more important. Therefore, increased skill equals increased value. That can also put her off. She's going to be less willing to buy something because it's increased cost and increased complexity. Now, your grandmother's even going to tell you that size matters. There is nothing wrong with big readable fonts. Lots of problems with small fonts. She's also not real crazy about those people who use 15 different fonts on the same web page. I mean, you know, it's problem. Well, she's buying a computer, and she has a little problem with Dell. She got so frustrated with Dell's menu and navigation system because she couldn't figure out what to click on that she decided she was going to build her own. So where'd she go? She started by selecting a motherboard and a processor from a site she liked. Intel. Nice big mega menu, organized content, very easy for her to read and very easy for her to click on. Now, the other thing she'd like to tell you is she spends more time looking at the left-hand side of the page than the right-hand side of the page. Actually, about 1.5 inches off the left-hand side. She's also kind of lazy. She doesn't like to scroll a whole lot, so she's going to spend about 80% of her time above the fold. Now, with all that in mind, I'm going too fast. I guess I got to slow down. With all that in mind, she wants you to realize that if you place things that are more than 3 clicks away, she's going to get pissed. Okay? She's going to get very frustrated, and she's going to get pissed off. Now, there's a couple of other things that she really expects. She gets confused easily when she's working around your website. She wants to make sure that she can contact you if there's a problem. If you hide a phone number, you are not going to get her to buy your motherboard. Okay? She expects there to be a home button and all that kind of stuff. But don't just listen to her. She wants your designers and developers to come to a tea party for user testing. Okay? Now, these lovely ladies would love to spend some time with you. And I've done this a couple of times, and there are rules to the tea party. Okay, so the first thing, the first rule, thank them for their time. Explain to them how important they are. Grandmothers love to feel important. And have them look at 3 similar sites. Only one of them can be yours, by the way. And set a time limit per site. 3 to 5 minutes, that's all it takes. 15 minutes, you're in and out. Now, during that time, ask them a couple things. How do I contact them? What products do they sell? Can you create an account? Can you perform the task or goal? Don't lead them. They have to do it themselves. Okay, that's part of the process. Now, during that time, ask them to think out loud, unless she's Italian. Bad idea. Record the session if at all possible so you can enjoy it many times later and catch little nuances that occur. Now, after the testing, get them away from the computers. At least 15 minutes. Old people have really short-term memory problems. So get them away and talk about anything but their websites they just looked at. Thank them again for their gracious time, otherwise you're going to get the ruler. Okay? Now, immediately after testing, and you've given them that time, ask them about the things that they like, why, and which ones they like. How much do they remember about the sites that they visited 15, 30 minutes ago? Don't ask them for a specific opinion on one thing. You will find that old biddies always have an opinion about something. Now, she has one final word. She is like the public. Everything she does is just like the people browsing and checking out your website. And she wants to remind all of those designers and developers out there, she can design a website better than you. She says, you suck. And she has one thing to say if you don't pay attention.